My guest at this time is a legendary WWE superstar and professional wrestler. He is the one and only. Go ahead, everybody do it together now. Pat yourself on the back. It's Barry Horowitz. Barry, I am thrilled to get to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time, Barry.
Oh, thank you, Nick. That intro I'm blushing. Oh my God. I'm actually technically blushing.
Oh, well, technically I'm blushing. I'm talking to you right now, Barry. You know, you came up recently. I was interviewing Al Snow, and he was telling me the origins of the Job Squad. And he was saying, you know, guys like you and him, you know, all the other people were backstage and they were pretending like it was real, and the wins meant so much to them. They were like, me and Barry, we have more power than anybody else in this locker room, because if Undertaker gave Barry a chokeslam and he got up and he walked away, Undertaker is dead. He is done. When I relay that to you, I guess that resonates to you when you hear me say something like that. Yeah?
It resonates, and I respect that statement from yourself and Al Snow, because not too many people say it. The smart marks do, and they're really smart. So I go by their word. The boys, they won't put me over. You got jealousy. You got this. You got that. Somebody's going to take my spot. You know what I mean? It's called insecurity. But I appreciate that from Al. I've always respected himself. I've traveled with him and Glenn Jacobs back in the day when he was Avatar. Okay. And he's totally right with that statement. We could embellish on it. I mean, we could go on and on with that statement, but if you go in the ring, and I've seen it, and you don't make a superstar or try to make a superstar, he's not going to draw. And what's really important is if the guy can't work at all, Ultimate Warrior, excuse me, sorry. You know, if he can't work at all and just wears face paint and shakes the top rope, I mean, that's really where, you know, that's called, then you really gotta work hard. But if they put me in there with Bret Hart, TV, 10 minutes, we're going to have even a better match because we both could wrestle.
Yeah.
See, people don't get the thing about enhancement. There's two sides to that name. There's enhancement where, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, there's some guys, hey, I just want to get in the ring. I'm going to take some bumps. I'm not in the greatest shape. I trained at a half-ass school, and that's what they want. And then there's enhancement that could go, I could put Undertaker or Shawn Michaels or anybody in 1 or 2 minutes. But then again, I could tear down the house next night in Montreal, Canada with Owen Hart for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
See, there's a difference. You got to pull your weight, and I could pull it. A lot of guys won't admit that, or they won't say that about me. Obviously, Al is saying that, and Al's in the same position. I mean, technically, first of all, everybody loses. Okay.
Right.
You gotta have a loser. My Buccaneers lost, my Patriots have lost. There's got to be a loser in the movies. There has to be. It would be boring if it just couldn't be. It would draw you flies in a phone booth.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I'm just calling it like it is.
No, and that's the thing though, Barry, is like, you know, you helped define so many wrestlers, right? You made all of these wrestlers look so good. I mean, I would be remiss if I mentioned your name to anybody. I'm 36. Anybody within like a 20-year time frame of me, I feel like they know the name Barry Horowitz. They've seen you. There's some resonance there. What I mean, do you see yourself in like the Hall of Fame? Do you have contact with WWE? Like, what is their wow. vibe on you, man? I mean, I feel like there's certainly place for you. Well, you know, and
you know what? Thank you. First of all, that Hall of Fame is, I think, all in Vince's mind. It's nice to be there, but when you got Kid Rock in there and Bob Uecker and people I can't even I mean, in the NFL Hall of Fame, I don't see nothing but football players. I understand it's two different venues, two different avenues, two different sports, but it's you're telling me all the cockamamie things they've come up with in the last 5 years on Raw, you can't have for 1 year. The people would go insane. I'd put my house on it that have an enhancement Hall of Fame, or just at one enhancement guy every year. You guys can't think of this. You big time story writers, you Hollywood producers, you writers, you can't think of something that basic. And if you don't think it's going to get over, well, I don't think on Monday Night Raw a few years ago, Pat Patterson and Jack Briscoe schoolboying the 24-hour champion is going to draw you much either. Give me a friggin' break. Come on now. I'm calling it like it is. I'm not knocking. I have no heat up there at all, except like Jim Cornette said on his podcast, maybe I was too good. Maybe I was too good, Nick. I worked too hard and I never failed a drug test. I trained my ass off. I worked hard in the ring. Give me a friggin' break. I mean, my legacy is my last hurrah in my career, besides doing things like this, is to be a coach at some kind of performance center or training center. So I could pass on my knowledge and what Malenko has taught me, Malenko's taught me. And, you know, we're not training for 2 or 3 months and you got a guy that's been in the business 3 years. I've been in the business over 30 years. I've paid my dues. I've been trained by the best in the world, bar none. I don't care who wants to talk up and do this. Maybe I'm being biased, but if we want to get logistics out and terminology and whatever else you want to pull out of your hat, Malenko's the best.
Yeah.
Malenko's the best.